let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals as I continue to scold the fact that I messed up my dates and that says 7:06 when it should say 7:08. So I apologize. This is not a rerun. This is a new edition of the Ben Garcia Show talking about the Arizona Cardinals. So yesterday, Albert Breer of, I believe he's Sports Illustrated, but again, it doesn't really matter, basically mentioned that this year is a make or break year for Kyler Murray, meaning they are going to move on from Kyler if they don't make the playoffs, if they don't win a game in the playoffs. Like, there are high expectations for Kyler Murray to succeed this season. And here's where I would agree with that. We are going to know by the end of this year about Kyler Murray. This is going to be the year we throw a judgment call on Kyler Murray. I am not going to be kind about my judgment of one Kyler Murray. If Kyler doesn't make it to the playoffs this year and doesn't look good doing it, if he's not consistent, if he doesn't win a playoff game, what are we even talking about anymore? Kyler Murray should not be the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals for the foreseeable future. However, as much as I would like to think that if Kyler Murray doesn't succeed this season, he will not be back next year, I don't think that's the case. When I say that this is a make or break year for Kyler Murray, I am talking about it in our sense, meaning we will know, yeah, this guy's not the guy, or yeah, this guy with a competent team around him, with smart coaches, can make a real run in the playoffs and potentially at some point be a Super Bowl contending team with Kyler Murray leading the charge. But we're going to know either that or Kyler Murray is not the guy for the Arizona Cardinals. And here's what I mean by that. As much as I would like to say that if Kyler Murray doesn't succeed this year, he's off the Arizona Cardinals. This is year 7, year 8 for Kyler Murray. To be fair, we should already know by now if Kyler Murray is what he is. And to be really honest with you, I'm leaning towards Kyler Murray is probably not the guy. Because it is year 7. It is year 8. He should have one playoff win by now. And his one playoff appearance shouldn't be the most disturbing playoff appearance you've ever seen for a starting quarterback. But I'm willing to listen to it and let Kyler have a little bit of time to figure it out. And part of that might be just fandom on my part, but also coaching has never really been consistent. Cliff Kingsbury was an incompetent buffoon. He just was here. Maybe he learned some things as the offensive coordinator over in Commander's land, and he's a better guy now. However, there was a lot of turbulence with Kyler Murray being the starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals under Cliff Kingsbury. He finally gets a fresh start, and they kind of had to hit the reset button. He tears his ACL. Like, there are some reason to believe that Kyler Murray might just be a really late bloomer. So I'm going to give it that chance for this season. But we will learn if Kyler Murray is the guy. And when Albert Breer says things like that the Cardinals are going to move on from Kyler if Kyler Murray doesn't succeed this season, and what does that look like for me? At least a playoff win. I don't know if the Cardinals are moving on from Kyler Murray regardless of what happens this season. Obviously, if Kyler Murray is awesome, he wins a playoff game, he's helpful to the team's success, he will continue to be the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, probably for the foreseeable future. However, if Kyler Murray has a really good first half and in the second half of the season falls flat on his face, I don't think we're talking about Kyler Murray not being the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals next season. The Cardinals had a chance to draft their guy a couple of years ago when they were drafted 4th overall, where they selected Marvin Harrison Jr. They opted to select a wide receiver, then select a quarterback. Now, granted, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams were all off the board. You would probably gotten stuck with one of the 4th or 5th best quarterbacks in the draft. However, they chose to forego that. They chose to forego that and go get Marvin Harrison Jr. It showed that they believed in Kyler. But because this Cardinals team is so talented at the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, with Kyler Murray being their quarterback, I don't see a world where they bottom out and they're a team that just never, that is losing 15 games a year and 14 games a year and 12 games a year, getting themselves in prime position to select a quarterback. The team is too talented for that. I mean, Garrett Williams is young. Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, Budda Baker's still very good. Jalen Thompson's very good. There's a bunch of players on this defensive line. So I don't see a world where the Cardinals are ever selecting high enough again to get a new quarterback. And that also leads me to believe the Cardinals can't just get off on Kyler Murray's deal next year. We all know Michael Bidwell is very cheap, and that's putting it nicely. But Kyler Murray's got a cap hit. Let's say the Cardinals decide they want to move on from Kyler Murray next year because the season just doesn't go as planned. He's got a cap hit of $53 million and then $43 million the following season. As much as I would agree with you that I would like Kyler Murray gone if this year is not a glowing success and start finding the new guy. This is why I continue to say the Cardinals should be ready to draft a quarterback in the later rounds. Second, third, I like Jackson Dart. He never fell that far. Maybe Shedeur Sanders, whatever, right? Don't be caught flat-footed. Because if the Arizona Cardinals are a disaster this year, I don't think it means they're just straight up moving off from Kyler Murray. We will know if Kyler Murray is the guy, and that is half the battle. But because his contract is so punitive, because you're talking about a cap hit next season of $53 million and the following season of $43 million, with dead money of $60+ million total, it's not exactly an ideal world to cut a quarterback. I think the Cardinals will, if it doesn't work out this year, fire Drew Petzing before they get rid of Kyler Murray because the tax is so punitive, the cap hit is so punitive to just send him out the door. So we are talking about a world where the Arizona Cardinals will know if Kyler Murray is the guy. And again, we've talked about a little bit why we're giving him a little bit of more of a runway. However, I don't think it's just as easy as the Cardinals are moving off from him. I think that's a very difficult and hard decision to make. And with an owner like Michael Bidwell, I don't see the Cardinals just completely moving off from Kyler. I don't see it. It's $100+ million and a cap hit over 2 seasons. Or no, it's about $90+ million and a cap hit over 2 seasons. And it's over $60 million in dead money. Like that, I don't see the Cardinals just moving off from him. They'll draft a guy. Maybe they'll try to figure out how to move up in the draft. But I don't think it means Kyler Murray is not on this team for the foreseeable future. What I've always continued to talk about is it's a make or break season for Kyler Murray. It's a make or break season for Kyler Murray knowing if he's the guy. It's not just moving off from him. It's much more nuanced than that. And it's difficult and it's going to be a tough decision to make. And I don't foresee Michael Bidwell just moving off from him. So as much as I understand that everyone would like to move on from Kyler, if it doesn't work out, and some people want to move on from him anyways, I don't think that's the case. I think the Cardinals are going to run it back next year with Kyler, regardless of what happens. But if it goes poorly, they're going to give you Drew Petzing's head on a platter and say, does this satisfy you? And you're going to say no. And they're going to say, too bad. We'll get you a new offensive coordinator and we'll see what Kyler Murray can do then. But with that being said, you will know if Kyler Murray is the guy after this season. And it can't be what he just did the season prior.